Welcome back, General.
The classic RTS games that most of us grew up playing from the mid-90s until the early 2000s, those are the games we're mostly inspired by.
It's definitely kind of that style of RTS games that we want to bring back.
So the original inspiration for Tempestrai징 actually came all the way back in 2014, where my old art director, we sat one evening at the office and we were talking about our favorite games. And of course, my favorite game of all time game series is Command & Conquer, StarCraft, the classic RTS games that defined the genre. One of the coolest things actually are the old covers that you had of these games, always with some cool face. And we thought, hey, why don't we design a cover for a game that doesn't exist? And then we try and do a game design in reverse. When I see this cover, what game do I think I'm going to play?
I was brought into the project, I think it was mid-2019. I met with Fred. We talked for probably an hour or two, or even more, about our experiences playing RTS when we were young, like my kids' age, like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And it was really cool. It was really exciting because we had so many experiences in common. There were a lot of things about these games that we were so excited about. I think that might have contributed to me ultimately getting the role that I have now. I've been studying real-time strategy game design, seriously in an academic way for about a decade. It was really exciting to be able to be a part of a project that was bringing back some of the things that I think the genre did so well in the beginning, when it was still the Wild West in terms of game design.
The philosophy of the design behind Tempestrai징 is a love letter to the games we grew up with in the 90s, but to then take it into the 21st century while still keeping the core of what made those games great.
So it was really to create something that would feel like a homecoming to somebody who had played like the originals, while also being something new and exciting for people who maybe never played the genre before.
The key design pillars for a game is very much responsiveness, classic RTS game feel, which is one of the more important pillars. Getting that classic Command & Conquer base building experience back into action again, since again it's been dormant for so many years.
Like the entire idea was conceived in a time where there wasn't that much in the genre to play. Like I think all of us in the project we were just missing the genre, we were just missing those type of games. So it came from a wish for something that we would have loved to play.
The nest has been kicked. Let's see what comes crawling out.
It's very much a deep challenge because we don't have a lot of reference, especially considering there hasn't been sort of a game like this in many, many years. We have a little bit of reference from some of the later Command & Conquers, but even those now are over 10 years old almost. So it's definitely a challenge in terms of trying to find the right balance of accessibility and quality of life features that's happened over the years from the few RTS games that have come out, but also still trying to bring back that kind of classic RTS feeling.
We spend a lot of time balancing those two things. You want to feel right at home, but at the same time, you also want to feel like there's something new. So that was a hard balancing act.
Luckily, you can say there's a lot of mechanics in an RTS game that just give you that feeling of, oh, I'm playing, like this is that genre that I used to love. And then like in the periphery of that, there's a lot of stuff we can do with like mechanics and unit designs and introducing stuff like the doctrine system that can help, I would say, like elevate the genre a bit.
Including new elements that hasn't been done before in sort of modern RTS games, bringing some kind of little bit of RPG elements into it. So you can kind of customize and kind of upgrade and level up your army as you kind of progress through the game.
It is true power for everyone.
We wanted to make sure it's a game that's very easy to play, hard to master.
There is a lot of things that were done in the original RTS games that like is very much a product of the time, especially in terms of like UX. Players have come to expect a lot more from games, like a lot more direction, a lot more guidance, whereas the earlier games of the genre very much left everything to the player to figure out. Like either you gave up or you figured it out on your own. That was like your options.
It's always a challenge with a UI-intensive game like Tempestrai징 because you want to fit everything in there, which you end up not always being able to. But our approach is to try to have everything important in the UI at least represented so the player can experience and learn about the game through the UI.
And this is also where something like our hint system was conceived. Something that lets more experienced players just kind of fiddle with it on their own and play like they want to, while also extending a helping hand to newer players who might not be familiar with all of the regular mechanics that you would expect from this type of game.
Still in one piece. Nice work. But we're not done here yet.
One of the other design pillars was the rule of cool. We designed the game around elements that, first of all, were pretty badass, and function came secondary.
For example, the redesign of Warden, it was inspired by Scarab. I'm so proud of that Warden.